You're listening to the Millennial Minute Podcast, giving this generation what they want to hear.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We got another episode of Millennial Minute for you guys. We don't necessarily have the full group with us, but we do have a star-studded lineup nonetheless.
Hey, we're stronger than ever, all right? It's
We're
okay.
stronger than ever. We're better than ever.
Rod who?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, never claimed him. Never claimed him.
No, you have to have him.
There's only been 4 of us. That's all I remember. So yeah.
Exactly. Wait, was ours?
A glitch in the Matrix.
Was it a glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah.
So we are now a glitch in the Matrix. There
Yeah,
we go.
it's Inception.
Glitch in the Matrix.
He was just a dream.
All right. So for this episode with Glitch in the Matrix, we're going to go around the table really quick. Let's start with Alif. How we doing today?
Hey, I'm living life.
You're living life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy in the big house.
You got a little bit. You need to be a little bit more excited to be with us, man. You know, maybe the glitch is getting to you, or COVID is. I'm not sure.
It's actually about to be a 3-person party, you know? I
I know, right? All right. And all the way from Washington, D.C., the one, the only, Shabuzo Okoro.
Boy is back.
Yes. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back.
What kind of products do you use for your beard?
Huh?
What kind of products do you use for your beard?
Oh, it's called melanin.
Melanin.
Ooh, okay.
We like that. All right. And then over in California, where things are on fire, and
It's lit.
so it literally is lit, we have T,
What it do?
our TikTok overnight sensation.
That's me.
How's everything been going since, last time I think I was on here, it was during the talk of your TikTok fame. And
Oh yeah, wait, Speaks hasn't been here in
I
forever.
haven't been here for quite a few episodes now.
I didn't even notice. I'm just kidding.
And hurt.
I
Yes.
forgot. about that.
JK, I noticed. I noticed every day.
Yes, you do. But how's that been going, T? Everything been going good?
It's going. It's
It's
whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and then obviously, since Rod is out, I will step in as your host today. I am Speaks. I will not be called any other names during this podcast. If I do, we will
What
have
about Speaky?
Speakeasy.
Little squeaks.
Little Speaks.
Squeaky
What about
Speaky.
Widow Speaks?
I will be referred as Young Microphone, and that is it. Yeah.
I don't like that one.
I know. Anyways, we're going to go in, but first, let's go ahead and get into our sponsors. First off, the one, the only, the one that's been with us since our A1 day ones, Productive Culture. Productive Culture is a media production company and lifestyle-based music collective. And basically, what that means in a nutshell is that they help you with whatever audio that you need, whether it's starting a podcast, whether it's helping you make some beats, get some beats to, whatever it is in that realm, they're going to help you out with, okay? So shout out Productive Culture, shout out JMKM for sure.
Productive.
Shout out Productive, you know what I'm saying? So
Why does that really scare me? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
but if you guys do want to get started and tell a Millennial Minute sent you, go ahead, and if you want to start your own podcast, maybe get off, this is the time during this COVID area. Make use of your time. Hit up productiveculture.com/podcast and tell a Millennial Minute sent you, and you'll get hooked up. All right. So shout out Productive. Our next sponsor, recent sponsor, we have 3 Big Games. So basically, they're your one-stop shop for collectibles, retro, tabletop, next-gen gaming. If you need Funko Pops, you need comics, whatever you need, like our TikTok famous T with the collectibles.
Funko famous TikTok
Yes.
sensation.
Go ahead and give them a follow on their Instagram, 3 Big Games. They're located in Pomona, so IE or anything like that, or if you're close by, they're at 1600 East Holt Avenue, space K24. So if you go ahead, drop in, tell them Millennial Minute sent you, you're going to get hooked up with a little bit of a discount. Shout out to
Support Black businesses, support small
Black
businesses.
support any small business, more specifically Black owned, people of color, whatever you need.
Minority businesses.
Exactly. That's what we need. And shout out to 3-Bit. Shout out to 3-Bit. So, in this current climate, it's easy to see that people's mental health is more important now than ever. And I feel as though some people are a little bit dealing with worrying, especially when it comes to going out in public, seeing your friends post on Instagram, Snapchat of all of them out turning up with no mask. I see worry all the time. I worry. I want to make sure that we are able to eventually return to normalcy. Normalcy. Is that even a word? I feel like
Normalcy.
normalcy.
I don't know.
Normalcy, a normal life at some point in time. Would you guys agree? Would you guys like to return to a normal life at some point in time?
I don't think things will ever be normal again, to be honest.
They probably won't. However, there have been countries that have had certain numbers hit where they haven't had new cases in X amount of time. I would like to be one of those countries eventually at some point in time. But we're talking today about people that are dealing with the mental health issues that are coming along with this pandemic. Okay. And I think it's important to preface this before we get into this topic of people saying that they have anxiety or that their anxiety is being, affected. So we are not necessarily trying to come for or try to associate with people that have generalized anxiety disorder, which is diagnosed by a professional. You've gone in, you've experienced certain symptoms for at least 6 months. So we're not necessarily trying to infringe on those people that have been diagnosed with that. And they may feel maybe a little bit triggered if people don't necessarily have that side of anxiety. But we also don't want to discredit the people that have, like I said, their mental health taxed. And yeah. So, who wants to get into this topic? You guys want to come along with me on this journey?
Oh, I'm on the train.
I mean, we're already here, so might as well.
That's right.
I mean, it's 2020. I mean, we're here, whether we want to or not. So
That's true. Alif, are you with us, sir?
You got it.
All right.
So we're gonna have 1 minute to. Okay, I already forgot.
I
1
got
minute
you.
to talk about what's
So what does anxiety
I also
what gets you anxious?
Okay, there
That's
we go.
what I'm gonna do.
what gets you anxious and how it prevents you from achieving things that you want to do with your life, and how you go about combating those things.
Okay, we're gonna talk fast.
Yes.
So we'll go Alif, since it seems like you probably have your answers. We'll go Alif, Chibs, and then Speaks. I'll go last. Ready?
Okay.
And go.
The unknown makes me anxious, and not having a plan makes me anxious.
Okay.
All right. The stress of expectations, the stress of disappointing someone gets me very anxious.
Okay. For me, I think it's the unknown for sure, and kind of, I guess, similar to Alif now I'm thinking about it, not having a plan.
This is really interesting because for me, I never thought of things. I mean, things like that do make me anxious, but for me, it's a lot smaller. Sometimes it's going to the grocery store. Sometimes it's going somewhere that I'm not familiar with, or driving, or sometimes when I just wake up in the morning, I feel a little bit nervous and anxious for no reason. So it's actually really interesting.
Everybody feeling nervous, especially right now. How much time do we have?
5 seconds.
Oh, this was a successful Millennial Minute.
It was.
Sure.
All right, Steve, on speak. That's time.
Hey, there we go. All right, so that was pretty productive.
So it seems like the key to a smooth minute is to not have Rod.
Okay, so we figured out the problem.
We figured out the problem. Now we need to come up with the necessary solutions to this problem.
Who's going to fire him? I vote Chibs. JK.
All right. So let's go ahead let's start with Alif, because Alif seemed to have a pretty, he was right there with his definition of what worries him. So can you kind of expand on what you mean by not having a plan and just unknown, I guess you could say.
Like, well, I guess for me, like, if I got goals, like, if I have a goal in mind, like, I like to, like, come up with a plan of how I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
I ask myself, like, how bad do I want this? And if I want it bad enough, like, I'll come up with a plan in my mind of, like, how I'm gonna get there. Like I'll do, like, a whole bunch of, like, there's, like, no specific one way of getting somewhere. There's, like,
There is. That's true. That's
like,
true. There's many ways to skin a cat, as they.
yeah, there's, like, multiple ways to skin a cat. So I'll just.
I don't like that saying.
Hey, look, PETA can come for me all they
Multiple
want. Okay?
ways to peel a banana.
I like that.
Multiple ways to peel a potato as well.
Yeah.
Multiple ways to create souffle. I'm just hungry.
Bake a cake. We got everything.
To
All
give
right.
a hug.
Give you a hug. Oh, okay.
No, T. There's some ways that you might not like.
Sounds like T. It sounds like T wants
That's
people
how I
to donate
was
for a patient.
I've
saying.
been alone for months.
Anyway,
I'm a hug, guys. I'm a hug.
all right. You're right. All right. Sorry, Alif. We kind of got off
Yeah,
topic.
sorry, we got distracted.
As I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think there's multiple ways of doing something, and if I can't find a way, like, then that's where the anxiety kicks in. Like, holy shit! Like, how do I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so I have a question. Yeah, sorry, finish.
Like, how do I do this? How am I gonna go about doing this? Because, like, but one thing, like, it's just me personally. Like, I don't like letting, like, fear, like, stopping me from doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that, like handicaps you in a way. Or
Okay,
like,
I would agree that it definitely does if you're overthinking things or if you're having a fear of how things will or will not go. Is that right? Is that what you're kind of?
Yeah, basically, like, this is sound kind of toxic, but, like,
Oh, okay.
thinking to myself, like, yeah, man, don't be a bitch.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're not calling people that are
That's just me.
fearful of things.
No, that's how I talk to myself. Like,
just want to preface that because we would not want to trigger this audience.
That's just me talking to myself. Like, look at myself in the mirror. Like, yeah, man, don't be a bitch.
I understand, but, like, I just want to make sure that we preface and that we're not calling people that are suffering from, any type of excessive worrying or having their mental health taxed bitches. We're not doing that.
Yeah. Oh, Choose had a question.
Yes.
Yes. So I was going to talk about, so, like, how do you think, like, has COVID, especially being, like, every day kind of seems uncertain, and the information of last week is irrelevant to the information of this week, and things seems to be constantly changing, going forward and going backwards.
Well,
So how's that affected you?
Yes.
Well, you just want to, like, flabbergast you guys and
flabbergast. Okay, good word.
Our audience and, like, catch you off guard. But to be honest, you guys, like, in the grand scheme of things, COVID hasn't really affected me a lot.
Oh, well, like, you're one of the great few that COVID has definitely.
No, like, let me explain. Because ever since COVID started, I've still been going to work every day.
But
not a lot
you can't go to, like, public places, right? Or do you still go to, like, the gym and stuff like that?
Sometimes work
restaurants and things.
Sometimes work requires me to go to public places.
But, like, you don't hang out with your friends all the time, do you?
No, but, like, I hang out. Like, I work with other people who go home to, like, their families and go to daycares to go pick up their kids from school and all that stuff. Like, I interact with all kinds of people every day, even since COVID started. Like, nothing, like, unfortunately, like, yeah, if I had the choice, I would be staying home. But, like, I have not once, like, worked from home or anything like that, like other people are doing. Like, I've been going to work literally every day, and I interact with all kinds of other people who have interacted with all other kinds of people as well. Like
it doesn't make you feel weird that like people are wearing masks and you can't like touch people. Like it's different, isn't it? Like I'm confused.
Like, yeah, people are wearing masks, but then like when I'm sitting in a meeting and like people are like, there's a guy that's like 2 feet away from me in that meeting.
So it seems like you're in the way that you've done COVID is different, because I feel like, especially in California, we've been very careful about social distancing. Kind of sounds like in Arizona, it's maybe
it sounds like it's a good thing you're in Arizona.
Everything's fine in Arizona because COVID don't really exist to us because we working and.
I mean, it's not an Arizona thing. Like a lot of businesses are like they don't have dine-in and all that stuff, and a lot of like, they're only open for like outdoor seating and all that. It's just.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off, but outdoor seating is an absolute joke.
Yes, thank you.
It's an absolute joke. I see.
Well, I mean, they're doing the same thing in California.
Yeah,
but it's a joke still. It doesn't mean that
it's still a joke. I drive by places all the time, and I see there is no.
But what do you do? There's got to be a balance because
you go home, you take out.
I go home and I do takeout, or I just cook. Or like,
why do you have to put the servers life at risk?
You don't like. I'm not in a hurry to go to Applebee's. I'm just
because I mean, like if you don't like, there's a balance because if you don't have a like dine in or dine out seating, like there's no need for servers to work.
Yeah,
you get takeout.
How many people?
So are you coming from the way? And I want to make sure that we're staying on the mental.
Yes, actually, I did want to circle back to that really quick.
I want to make sure, but
I want to answer Chip's question. Like it really has.
Wait, this whole time we're answering it. My God, Elise. Well, yeah, I was saying how does being in COVID affected your like mental environment?
Yes.
So like it's okay. Like it's stressful in the terms of that. It's kind of virtually impossible. It's not an Arizona thing. It's just a work thing. It's a work specific thing.
So are you saying that you are in perfect mental health through this whole entire pandemic, or you have been for the most part?
At this point I'm just used to it.
Okay, for one, I don't think that
I'm considered an essential worker. Like
okay, that's totally fine. But I think also too, capitalism has made it very impossible for people to like realize how screwed up it is to make people choose between their own health and safety and making rent. It's absolutely tragic, to be honest. And I think that aspect is really what can add to your mental health just being completely just all over the place. And then on top of that, if you take away somebody's income, because a lot of people, unlike you, are not able to work right now. They are either out of work completely, or they're looking for a job, they're collecting unemployment or something like that. And that can be like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, those people that are just collecting unemployment are just chilling at home and they're happy as hell. And it's like, no, there's people that are also looking for jobs because unemployment doesn't necessarily cover their needs.
Oh yeah, it's not black and white like that. Like
exactly, I know. I'm just saying, that can also have a big, huge effect on your mental health. Go ahead.
Well, to answer Chiz's question.
Oh, okay. Still haven't answered it?
Just to finish it. Just to finish it. Like, Chiz, it really hasn't affected me. The only way it's affected me is like when I found out I was going to be working still, I was like, well, shit, fuck it. Guess I'm going to work.
All right, I guess Elise been sitting pretty during the
pandemic. That must be nice, because I don't think a lot of people can say that, but okay, continue.
What I do want to say is kind of going back to the essential worker thing that you mentioned. Like, I know, Chibs, you're still working. Your job is considered essential. But I feel like my job is in a very unique position because a lot of people are fighting for gyms to be opened. I personally don't think it's essential because you can work out anywhere. I literally work out in my room. I work out outside. I go for a run. You find other ways to work out. You don't need a gym to work out. You do not. I don't care what anybody says. You do not need a gym to work out. But yet, I'm working, right? And things have changed. Like, even though, like Elise said, well, things are the same for me. Yeah, I'm working, but things are not the same. I train people one-on-one and I have to be 6 feet away. I put on gloves when I touch their equipment. there's masks when I'm teaching in class. It's completely different than what it was before COVID. Mm-hmm. So it is a little bit like this huge culture shock because I'm so used to teaching people and touching people when I need to adjust them. And now I have to work outside in an environment that I've never had to work with. It's outside, it's hot, it's whatever, it's dry, there's ashes, and then now I'm having to not be able to touch people, not be able to get close to anybody. It's like a huge shock for anyone that is working essentially or is in that like awkward position,
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a follow-up question to my question, and that
are you asking T or are you asking Alif?
Alif.
Oh dear God. Oh
yeah.
God.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Hopefully this won't last 3 rounds, but we shall see. But we'll see. So
Okay. Sure.
I mean, so how do you then handle your stress or anxiety when it does come around? Because you did say that the biggest thing was dealing with the unknown. So how do you personally just do your best to deal with it?
Look, so like I'm not sure if I would recommend this for anybody, but my method is just like, damn dude, fuck it, just go through it. Just go through the pain.
Okay. Is there any coping mechanisms that you have that you can maybe enlighten to people so that way they can maybe use some of those techniques for themselves?
Yeah, my best way is to like I said, like analyze what you want, right? What is your goal? What do you want to do? How bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to get there? Like, and I ask myself, am I going to
3 steps, 4 steps, all right?
No, and I ask myself, like, okay, so am I going to let my stress and anxiety prevent me from doing this? Or this is just me, though. This is a relief. Like, or am I going to, like, find, come up with a strategy of how I'm going to get there? And
okay.
That's how I cope with it. And, like, I just think, like, man, it's not like easy, but I'm going to make it. I'm going to go through the stressful part of it.
Okay. So it sounds like for you, you're acting in a situation where your mental health is pretty, for the most part, stable. Because I feel as though when you break it down like that, it's like, oh, well, how badly do I want it?
Essentially, I just compartmentalize. Like I just take it in little small pieces.
Okay, so you break it down and make it more easily digestible instead of looking at it as just this whole big mountain to climb, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a better way of putting it, I think, rather than just deal with it and get through it. just saying.
Just do it.
Yeah. T, I think it's important to get contrast in this episode. So you, during the minute, said that a lot of things will worry you and a lot of things will make you a little bit more anxious. You're worrying about a lot of things, especially in this climate. Could you touch on that for our viewers?
Well, I just think it's really interesting because I feel like I don't know, you can just see the differences. Like Alif worries about very big things, like his future and things like that. And then of course I worry about those things, but those aren't really, they do make me a little bit anxious on a daily, but for me, it's really small things, so it's like driving makes me anxious. Or if I'm going somewhere that I'm not really familiar with, like if I'm going somewhere new, that makes me anxious because I'm like, oh, like, what's it going to be like? Like, I don't know. It's kind of like hard to explain sometimes too. And then sometimes it could be as simple as I think about something that I did earlier in the day and I just overanalyze the situation that maybe that person didn't even think about twice, but then I'm here thinking about it like all freaking day. Do you know what I mean?
Got you. So excessive worrying. So what have you done to kind of like help yourself, or have you come up with any techniques for you to kind of help lessen the stress levels of that?
I do a lot of things. I do journaling, I do words of affirmation, and then I meditate. I try to meditate at least once a day. It's depending either when I first wake up or right before I go to bed. But I try, or even if I'm feeling a little bit anxious throughout the day, I'll just kind of like sit. I like to go outside and like ground myself. The earth has healing energies. I don't care what anybody says. So go outside barefoot and meditate, okay?
Wait, so which crystals would you recommend on which days of the sun when the moon is on the third phase on the hexagonal
in Virgo.
Hey, T, are your chakras aligned?
Is Pluto in retrograde or not?
Are your chakras aligned?
Pluto, I don't think is in retrograde anymore, but right now it is Mars retrograde. So watch your temper, everybody.
Are your chakras in line, T?
They are not. I'm pretty sure my sacral chakra is not in line. Thank you for asking.
So for those, where can people get more tips for getting into meditation? And because I'm a very big advocate and 100% support meditation. Where?
I'm looking up an app. I have this app on my phone. I actually don't use this app right now. I use, basically I'll go on YouTube and I'll look at frequencies. If I feel like one of my chakras, sorry, I'm going to get all like it. If I feel like one of my chakras is blocked, I'll look up maybe like third eye healing or something like that, or heart chakra healing, depending on what you might think is blocked. But then I'll listen to that frequency as I meditate, or I'll grab a crystal that I feel like correlates with that chakra. So like if I'm feeling like a lot of heartache or something like that, then I'll go for like a crystal that is for your heart chakra or whatever. But I've heard Insight Timer.
Okay.
Insight Timer is really good.
Did you subscribe to Insight Timer? Because I do. I have that downloaded as well.
Oh, you do? I actually haven't used it. Like I said, I've just been using frequencies. But I would say be careful what frequencies you listen to, because I've heard that sometimes they'll put like subliminals in them. So just be very careful. Read the comments. Just make sure that it's like a decent.
Kind of subliminals. Soviet Russia is key.
Dude, for real. I don't know what's in these. Like, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I see something when I was just, that's it. So you go.
Well, I know I do feel, I'll make sure I get my chakras up, so I get my Rasengan down, you feel?
Rasengan? We're talking about anime? We love this. We love this topic. We love this topic. All right, so.
All right, let's go with Chibs.
Wait, Speaks, I think you're lagging.
Lagging a little bit, okay?
Oh, you're good.
I pick up what Speaks laid down, so.
Sometimes I want to pay your Wi-Fi bill, yeah?
Yeah, we're good with that. And then where would you go to get into it? Just look it up on YouTube, T, for meditation?
Yeah, look up on YouTube. Usually I feel like the ones that are really popular will be at the top. But like I said, use the Insight Timer, because people have like actually made sure that those frequencies are like right and stuff like that. So use the Insight thing. I would probably stay away from the YouTube videos unless you find one that you really, really like and resonates with you. Mm-hmm. But like I said, use Insight Timer.
Got you. All right. So meditation for T to help.
Also, I want to mention something really quick. There is no wrong way to meditate. I feel like people put a lot of stress into meditation. I think it's just simply just sitting there, just grounding yourself.
Yep. Just focus on your breathing. I can't stress that enough. It sounds so difficult or sounds so weird, but
yeah,
it for anybody that wants to get into it or doesn't know how to get into it, literally just focus on your breathing. Sit there, find a space wherever it is. Even if you want to sit down in a chair, lay down on your bed, lay down on the floor, as long as it's clean. Outside, grab you a yoga mat, grab you a towel, lay there, and just allow yourself to only focus on your breathing. Start there and work from there. That is your starting point. Ships, what is your way, or how do you deal with your worrying, whether it's in this climate during a pandemic where people are worrying about going outside, or just in general?
Right. I like T mentioned, I'm kind of in the same boat as Leaf. So I am an essential worker. So I am taking like online classes even before the pandemic. So like a lot of my lifestyle was not impacted too much. I'm still going out. I'm still like going to school. Toilet paper. That whole month was just madness. But
the toilet paper month.
I totally
the toilet paper saga.
Oh my god, people were out buying just massive. People were actually fighting over toilet paper. Anyways, continue, Ships.
But I would say generally, and it's something I actually recently discovered too. And looking back at my life, I figured out like that is something that had I known earlier, it might have really helped. But I do just kind of have like anxiety. It's kind of like when there's a lot of like pressure, you know, pressure to perform. So I mean, it's not something that I like to admit, but I mean, it's kind of like when, like, for instance, I'll get test anxiety. Did
Oh,
not know test anxiety. Like if I have like a hard test that I don't understand, even if like I studied for it and I prepared for it, like when the paper is in front of my face, I blink and like it's just nothing. I'm like I can't think of anything. I freeze, and
I've
it's
definitely, yeah, no, not to cut you off. I'm sorry. Continue.
but yeah, I mean it's bad. I mean like yeah, chem and anything math is no bueno for me because man, I was looking at those numbers, was like I know I studied for this last night, but it's not coming to me like at all. Like, and so yeah, so later on, like even at work sometimes, like I have my boss, and my boss is telling me like, you want to make sure you have to get this done by this time, and now I'm just like, oh my god, like yeah, I gotta get this done, and like I can't like think of solutions in that time because the only thing I can think of like, oh my god, like my boss is like writing me. I'll make sure that I don't like fuck this up. I gotta make sure I get this done at this time. And so like I can't even like think about getting the task done because the stress is just like clouding everything else. So that's kind of like that's what I deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, no, test anxiety is a real thing for sure. There's been countless times when I was taking a test just anywhere, and you can study for hours upon hours, and then once the test actually gets there, it just seems like this whole mental fog and just.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but at some schools, right, when you walk through the door to go take your test, they have this mind magnet at the door entrance, which sucks out all the information that you studied for the night before.
Sounds about right.
Sounds. I would love to see the sources on this, but that sounds absolutely correct, and I don't dispute any of that. But yeah, no. Test anxiety and just every day. I feel like everyday stressors are magnified, multiplied to such an extent, especially during this pandemic, because going to the store used to be something that, yes, people had issues going out in public. However, it wasn't as common of a thing now. Now people are scared of going in public, where they might have just like, oh, people like having massive amounts of people around me scare me. But now I have massive amounts of people around me, and on top of that, I could contract this deadly disease that is highly contagious, and I may not show symptoms. Maybe I'll lose my taste. Maybe like I'll be end up in the hospital a few days later. You just never really know the severity of this COVID. And I feel like just every day hanging out with friends or whatever people may want to do is limited or no longer existent. It just sucks.
Wait, Alif, why were you shaking your head?
Because Alif doesn't deal with these.
He was like,
because
what does that mean?
Because Alif lives a normal life during a pandemic and doesn't even relate to any of
no. So exactly what Brian speaks to. So like as you were saying these things, like damn, it's crazy how like I'm not trying to like take away that what you're saying, like what you're going through is real. I'm just like thinking, I was like, man, that is not my experience at all, because I know that mine and Chip's experience is like unique, like because everyone else is like at home, social distance, and I don't want to give the impression that I don't think coronavirus is not real. It's a real thing, and I wish I could be at home, like social distancing and all that stuff. But
well, I mean, you're social distancing if you're not like hanging out with your friends and stuff. Like we get that you have to do what you have to do and go to work, but like if you're going out to a freaking barbecue, hanging out with your friends at your house, like that's not social distancing.
It's the excessive going out to hang out. When you have to, like, nobody's like, hey, you're going out to the store to go pick up groceries. Like nobody has a problem with that. Everybody has to eat if you're able to. Everybody, if you have a job and you're able to go out and work, you have to go out and do that. Otherwise, you lose your job, and nobody's asking you to lose your job. However, there are people that especially if you're considered the at-risk group. I mean, nobody wants to be having to make that choice of like, hey, I may die or I have to pay rent next month. We're having a lot of people kicked out, especially with the whole rent crisis that's been going on, which is another thing that can affect people's mental to extreme degrees. Like I said, I personally have, the feelings of unknown. So like, it's not necessarily just career. Like I worry all the time about just any little thing. If I have a little pain in anywhere random, like for a specific time, I think I'm going to die at some point. If I have any type of chest discomfort at some point in time, like I feel as though I'm going to have a heart attack and I'm going to die at that particular moment in time. This is not like me making this up. This is what I think on like a regular basis. Just excessive worrying of things, and that makes it worse. If you're worrying about any little thing or every little thing,
or even big things
they're amplified by people that suffer from any type of excessive worrying, or people who tend to worry a lot. And I feel as though in this climate, it's important to really hammer home the fact that people are going through a lot more than what we're willing to really think about. You don't even think, like you said, you don't think about the people that are like, oh, I have to go out because of this. I have to go out and do this, and I'm scared that I'm going to take it home to my kids. My kids are going to school now. Some kids some little tiny children are going to regular school in person, and those numbers for COVID are going up because of it. There's just a lot of stressors at this particular moment in time. And I think it's important for people to try to maintain their sanity, whether it's through meditation, whether it's being able to compartmentalize this stuff, whether it is, I think a lot of what Alif also said too, I think can be tied to your active work life, or active workout. Like you tend to go to the gym a lot. You tend to work out. You tend to work out a lot too. Shibs, I'm not sure if you're working out as much as you used to.
Shibs doesn't need a workout.
He doesn't. He's just naturally an Adonis, so it's really cool.
No fair.
It really isn't. I work out I work out a little bit. I'm running, trying to stay active as best I can. Sometimes I just don't feel like it though. And
that's okay. You got to listen to your body. Any movement is better than no movement.
Exactly. So make sure that you guys are able to find some type of outlet in this time. You're going to be at home a lot with yourself. Try something new. Start a podcast. Start a YouTube.
Donate to a podcast.
Start a
Give all your money to me.
Start a YouTube channel. Go support your local business somehow, some way. Make a donation if you can. Yes. Whatever it is that you can do to try to give yourself at least a mental break in this time is really, really important. I'll leave with that. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Nope.
No, just listen to your body. Try and take care of yourself and listen to what you need.
And also, don't put too much pressure on yourselves. We're going through a pandemic, and it's important people to realize that we're in a time where nobody really thought we would be. And how you're acting, there's no correct way of how to act. There's no correct way of how things should go. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, guys. Shibs, anything?
No, the only tip I would say is eat well and get plenty of sleep, drink lots of water, do what you can do, change what you can control what's in your realm of control to make yourself better. There's all things that we can't control, but control what you can to make your life better.
True.
And we'll get through this.
Yes. Alif, final thought.
I mean, it's easier said than done, but I guess find it within yourself to not let your anxieties prevent you from enjoying your life.
All right. You know what? That's a very good way to put it, Alif. I'm glad that you came around to not just saying, just get through it, you know?
Do it.
Just do it!
Don't be anxious.
Well, I said
Don't be suspicious. Don't.
I said that for myself. That's how I talk to myself.
No, we're just kidding. We're just joking.
Yeah, don't get so hurt, man. It's okay.
I'm not hurt. I just didn't want my message to be distorted.
It's okay. We're gonna get through this, okay?
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
only I get to play with my hair.
All right. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to us this far. Shout out Productive. Shout out 3-Bit. Shout out to all of our viewers. If you made it this far, give us a follow at our Instagram, Millennial Men Podcast. Follow our YouTube, Millennial Men Podcast, and also our
donate, sponsor the pod.
Millennial Men Podcast. Shout out to our donation for the Patreon. We will contact that donator and see what they want to hear about for our podcast. Because when you donate, you also get to pick what we talk about, what episode we're going to be talking about. And if you donate even more, you can go on a date with T. So there's that.
No, it's okay.
No? Why is there a sugar daddy?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Pay my rent.
Okay, pay the rent. Pay T's rent. Hashtag pay T's rent.
Hashtag pay
Allow that $25 comes to the pod. All right, y'all.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Okay, goodbye.